Hey everyone. All right, welcome to another edition of Jill and her Jacks. So I am here, it's Sunday. I am casual today. I've actually been in my office for a number of hours doing a bunch of practice videos for a work project. And so I figured while I'm here in front of the camera, I'll go ahead and give you all another video. This one I am calling Fetish Jack. And it's not quite as racy as it may seem. Which I guess could be good or bad depending on your perspective. But here is my story of Fetish Jack. So basically, I met this guy and we're sitting at the bar. And this is that Saturday night date, actually. And I need to be careful because, again, I don't want to identify this Jack. And quite frankly, if he saw this, he would know exactly that I'm talking about him. But anyway, so I am sitting there talking to this guy. He's actually really cute, and maybe there's a little bit of a vibe, maybe. Still too soon to tell, in my opinion, in that moment. But we were probably there for 45 minutes to an hour, having some really good conversation, and it was fun and playful, but yet there was actually some good information being exchanged, just about like life and about our life situations and things like that, right? So all is going pretty well. And then he said to me, he said, "So, what do you like?" Now, that question can go a lot of different ways, right? So but I'm thinking, I mean, we're at a bar, we're in a public place, and we're having very respectful conversation. So I'm like, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, like, what do you like? And he's like, like, what do you like? So I'm not quite sure what you mean, because I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if he's wanting me to, get intimate here with information, but that's, again, not my style. I would never talk intimately with somebody having known them for about an hour. So anyway, I just basically said, I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, oh, he goes, well, he took it kind of back a little bit. He goes, well, do you like guys with tattoos? What do you like? And I said, well, and at this point I'm starting to get a little bit turned off. And I said, I don't care about tattoos. I mean, tattoos, okay, cool. If somebody's got them, okay, cool. If they don't, I don't really have a thing for tattoos either way. I said, for me, it's just really about the person, like the overall person and all of the different elements that any given person brings. He's like, oh. And so I took a chance and I said, what about you? And he looked at me and he started to kind of look at my ear, and he said, well, like, oh, and actually, I just realized, I forgot, he actually used the word fetish. Oh, I totally, okay, so I got to back up. When he said, what do you like? And I was like, well, what do you mean? That's why I got turned off, because he said, well, like fetishes. And that's so, okay. That was an important part of the story, sorry. But he basically said, he goes, I mean, like fetishes. And I'm like, oh. And like I said, that's when I started to realize, okay, this is probably not going to go well as it relates to like being something that's ever going to have a second date. But so anyway, so now kind of reframe it all with him having said fetishes at that point. And that's where I was like, well, what do you mean? And so that's when he's like, well, tattoos or whatever, as if that were a fetish, right? So then I said, well, what about you? And that's when he started looking at my ear. He kind of looked at my ear and he said, well, like, I don't know, like earlobes. And I said, earlobes? He's like, yeah. He said, there's two different kinds of earlobes. And he's trying to talk kind of almost like seductively, like he's getting into this little sexy mode as he eyes my earlobe, and he starts telling me about the fact that there are two different kinds of earlobes. He's like, yeah, there's two different kinds of earlobes, It's like, there's an attached earlobe, and then there's, more of a detached earlobe that has more of a rounded curve. And he's saying this all almost salivating as he looks at my earlobe. And then he said, yeah, and he's like, and, did you know that, like, earrings completely fall differently off of each type of earlobe? So anyway, I'm just like, no, I didn't know that. And okay. And anyway, that was Fetish Jack. basically at that point, I ended up giving him about another hour of my time. I ended up leaving, going to the bathroom. I excused myself, and that's when I texted my girlfriend group, and I'm like, oh, God, this is what I'm dealing with. And so they're all like, get out of there. And I wasn't scared of the guy. I don't think he was dangerous in any way with his earlobe fetish. It's just a matter. And by the way, just so you know, fetishes, cool. You do you. I'm not here to judge you or fetishes of any kind. I could care less. But I am here to judge the guy that I'm out on a date with. And, the other thing that's so funny is if the guy had an earlobe fetish and I had fallen madly in love with him and a few months in, whatnot, I learned about his earlobe fetish, I probably wouldn't care, right? But it's his judgment that he decided to have to tell me within an hour of meeting him about his earlobe thing as he mentally undressed my earlobe, if that's even a thing. So anyway, people are so weird. They're so weird. I look forward to meeting a normal Jack. Actually, I kind of did meet a normal Jack earlier this week. He was a pretty normal Jack. I don't know where that'll go, but anyway, crazy stuff. I still have more stories, so I will be back soon with more stories. Hope you had a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.